Hello everyone, welcome to the today's DNA. So before we are starting the DNA, I'd like to start with this beautiful quote, okay. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. This quote reminds me that growth has no expiry date. Your age, your failures, your past choices do not cancel our future potential. Okay, as long as we are learning, we are trying and imagining a better possibilities, we are still moving forward. So dream don't depend on quantity. Dreams depends on the quality. It means dreams don't depend on the age. They depend on courage. I would like to share one more thing, that we all wanted every day to be good. But we are not seeing that something is good in every day. So every life isn't about like waiting for a perfect moments. It's about finding meaning even in every difficulties. You know, there's a thin difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Is that little extra? It means that extra efforts in your preparation, extra belief in you, and extra steps when you are stopping yourself, that will take you to achieve your dream. So remember, your age doesn't define your dream, your mindset does. So as long as we are learning, we are growing, we are trying again and again, your story is still being written. I would like to say one more thing, that always choose happiness. Okay, so like be happy. So when other people look at you, they'll also become happy too. Okay, so because your smile, your efforts, your dreams, that also might be and exactly what someone else need to be believe in today. Okay, so with these beautiful lines, we'll start the today's DNA. Okay, there are few topics which I've covered from today's as well as yesterday's also. Okay, so China's population drops for 4th year, birth at historical low. Trump links Greenland. Threat to a Nobel Prize snubs. So what US annexation of Greenland could mean for NATO. Okay, and faster warming, faster breeding, climate change upends Antarctic penguins, and Tamil Nadu's governor refuses to read the customary address assemblies. Okay, we'll start with the first article. Okay, that is here, China's population. Yes, we'll start with the first article, that is China's population drops for 4th year. Okay, China's population has been declined, which means in the 4th consecutive year, China's population has been declined. Since 1949, Chinese Revolution, their birth rate has been very low in 2025. Okay, so as we all know, in 2023, India has become the most populous country. Okay, so how China has lost this status? Okay, we can see what is the reason behind this. So what is the reason behind this? We'll talk about. First, there are a lot of reasons. First is structural and social economic factors. Okay, that means their standard of living is very high, and which raises their cost of living is also high. That means their housing, their education, their healthcare, everything has been very high. And second one, which is also their work culture. They have an intense work culture, which is almost 10 hours of working, which is also discouraging the China to leads the family formation. Okay. Third one is delayed marriage, as we all know, and now it has also the individual's choices. Okay, that is also has been one of the reason for the Chinese population has declined. Okay, next one we'll talk about the policy legacy, that is one child policy. Okay, in 1979 until 2015, this one-child policy has been created, but this creation has been impacted still in the long-term fertility suppression. Okay, and their age also, they skewed their age structures also, and it is also a imbalance between the male and female. Next, we'll see the another issue is that is limited success of pro-natalistic measures, which is that in 2015 they have shifted to two-child policy, and in 2021 they have shifted to three-child policy. Okay, irrespective of though they have given the incentives like tax benefits, cash subsidies, and even the education cost has been reduced, everything has been there, but their outcomes are very minimal. Okay, so which is reflects the limits of state intervention once their fertility norms is changed. So what is the consequences of this China? What is the consequences for the China? Okay, labor market impact, that is their working population. Okay, so their working population has been reduced. Okay, which is leads to I'll just rewrite it again. Okay, okay, so their working population has been reduced. Okay, which leads to the shortage of labor. Okay, okay, okay. Then this also raising the dependency ratio. That means their dependency ratio has been raising, and because of their aged population also relying on the pensions and healthcare system. Okay, next one more consequence is that is growth model challenge. Okay, China has been a manufacturing sector, okay, country, which leads to the relied on the abundant cheap labor. Okay, so because of the demographic decline forces, they have shifted to automation in high-tech sectors. Okay, so the consumers has been reduced. So their consumers has been reduced due to their, which leads to the high population of aging. Okay, this is that. So now, what is, when we are talking about the population of China, we should also discuss about the India's population. So what is the features of the India's population? Okay, we'll talk about a few features, that is stages of the demographic transition. Okay, as we all know that we are in the second stage. Okay, that means our population growth, it is high. Okay, due to our birth rate is high and death rate is low. Okay, that is one of the major factor. Next, high population density. As we all know, our population density is 464 people per square kilometer. Okay, the next one is skewed sex ratio. Okay, so as we all know that preference of the male child, okay, which leads to a number of male more than female. Okay, and which has our sex ratio is 931 is to 1000 male according to the NFHS. Okay, and youngest population. So in India we have almost 68% of the population is under the age of 15 to 64 in 2022 itself. Okay, so this is also one of the factor, and skewed population across the states. So India's population is mostly not evenly distributed, so with the large variation among the states. That means UP and Bihar have the population has been very high compared to the Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Now, what is the reason behind of this population? Okay, we should also discuss about the few reasons. First is high population momentum. As we already discussed that that 68% of the people, like their age is under 15 to 64. So the medium of age under 28 years is more, so which also entering their reproductive age. So they are also entering into the reproductive age. And next one, historically high fertility rate. Okay, so our TFR is 1.9 as okay. Before earlier it was very high, now it is declining. Okay, so earlier high fertility continues to influence current population size. Okay, now declining mortality rate. So infant mortality rate, that is, we all know that due to the improvement in the environment, in the sanitation, in the nutrition, okay, and their health care, which is also increasing their life expectancy. Okay, that is also one of the factor which is also reducing the death rates. Social and cultural factors. So we all know that early marriage system and unaware of the family planning system, and they have the limited access for the female education and preference for the son. So these are all the important things which is also contributing to have a large family members. Okay, uneven demographic transition. As we also discussed in the previous point that some states have low fertility, others continue to have recorded the high birth rate. So this is also keeping the population very high. Okay. Next, when we are talking about the population, we should also discuss about the population pyramid. Okay, so what is this population pyramid? We'll discuss about this population pyramid. Means it is used to show the age sex structure. Okay, which means the shape of the population reflects the characteristic of the population. So I'll show you in the graph that this left side, okay, which show the percentage of the male, and in the right side which show the percentage of the female, okay, in each age group. Okay, so following this we have a different types of population pyramid. Okay, so let's discuss each one. First is expanding population. Okay, what is this expanding? Very simple, it is a triangle shaped population. It is written here. Okay, so which means their, see, I'll give you this triangle shaped population means their birth rate is high and their death rate is low. We can give a perfect example of India. Yes. So we'll get into a next constant population. So this constant population means it means bell shaped population. Okay, which means their birth rate is equal to death rate, more or less. We can almost equal. Okay, that is also there. And the next one, declining population. Okay, which is we can give a good example is Italy, which is a developed nation. Okay, so that means they are narrow shaped the narrow base we can say. So, showing their low birth rate. So, their birth rate is low and their death rate is high, 0 or negative we can say. Okay. So, when we are talking about these terms, we should also discuss about these few terms which is related to the UPSC. Okay. So, these are all the important terms and their definition. I would I want all of you to just go through this. Okay. But still I will give you one glance that crude birth rate, okay, which is number of live births per 1,000 people, crude death rate, as we all know, number of deaths, okay, TFR as we have discussed before, dependency ratio, okay, and demographic transition theory, it is also means a high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates, that is a shift, there is a population shift, okay, and demographic dividend as we also discussed, and demographic window and demographic winter. We can give a good example about the demographic winter is China, which is declining in their birth rate and replacing level, which is 2:1, sorry 2.1 children women, which leads to aging population and shrinking their work forces and economic strains. Okay. I want all of you to pause this video and solve this question, which is asked in 2024. Okay. So, please attend this question and put it on the comment box. Next, we'll discuss about the next article, that is Trump links Greenland threat to Nobel Prize snubs. Okay. So, what's the news? US President Donald Trump linked his interest in Greenland, okay, as we all know, that to broader diplomatic leverages connected to the Nobel Prize recognition. Let me discuss that. In 2025, Nobel Peace Prize has been given to the Venezuela's opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. Okay, so because she transitioned from dictatorship to democracy. So Trump has also showed his frustration, aggression expressed over not receiving the prize and linked this snubs to his ambition. So the Nobel Committee's also decision is independent actually and based on its own criteria. So not influenced by any private or a government influenced. Okay. Let's discuss about what is the Trump's issue. So what's the issue that, so when this Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, when she received this medal in 2026, she went to the US President Donald Trump and presented him, okay, with her Nobel Peace Prize medal. So when she presented this, so the Nobel Foundation clarifies that, so this award has been given to a specific individual or an organization, but cannot be legally shared, revoked or transferred to another person. Okay. So while laureates may physically given away their medals or donate, so the title of this, so they have given the title of Nobel laureate, which remains officially to the same original recipients for all time. Okay, which means when the medal has been handed over to the US president, but still this Nobel laureate title has been remains to the Nobel with the official original recipients only. Okay. Now let's discuss about this Nobel Prize. When we are discussing about all these issues, we should also know what is this Nobel Prize. So this is the most prestigious international award which is given annually, okay, for the annually for outstanding achievements. Okay, this recipients are also called laureates. Okay, so it was established by the Swedish inventor Alfred Nobel. So, okay, so he is an inventor of dynamite, okay, and still being funded from his own will only. Okay. So, originally the award was given only in the 5 field, that is physics, chemistry, physiography or medicine, literature and peace, and later in 1968 the economic science also included. Okay, but it has not given the title of Nobel Prize. Instead of that, it has given a Sverris Riskman Prize in economic science. Okay, so these 6 prizes is given by 4 organizations. I'll tell you about this. The 4 organizations is the Royal Swedish Academy of Science, which is chemistry, physics and economics science. The Nobel Assembly at the Karolinska Institute, this is physiology or medicine, and Swedish Academy. Okay, that is also literature, and the Norwegian Nobel Committee, that is peace. Okay, so when we are talking about this, we'll discuss more detailedly about this Nobel Peace Prize. So the majority vote is used by institution to select the laureates, okay, in each field. Okay, so the vote is immediately followed by the announcement of their own decision, so which cannot be challenged. So all these Nobel prizes are given in Stockholm, Sweden, but Nobel Peace Prize, which is awarded in Oslo, Norway. Okay. So once Nobel Prize laureates, one must be nominated for the prize by an eligible nominator. So self-nomination is not allowed except Nobel Peace Prizes. That is, this award can be given to maximum 3 laureates and 2 distinct workers. Okay, this is also a very important point. So will this award can only be individuals, okay, except for the peace prizes, which means, okay, which can be given to the institution. Okay, so right now there are one committee which has got 3 Nobel prizes, which is the International Committee of the Red Cross, okay, ICRC, which holds the most Nobel prizes in 1917, 1944 and 1963. So 3 times it has got a Nobel Prizes award. Okay. What next point is no posthumous recognition. That means the Nobel Prizes are not awarded after death. But it can be awarded, okay, if the recipient dies after the announcement. Okay. Okay. So when we are discussing about these Nobel Prizes, we should also know that in India, who are all got the Nobel Prizes? The first Indian who got this Nobel Prizes is Rabindranath Tagore, okay, for the literature, okay, and the last one who got is that the Abhijit Banerjee, okay, and along with that, they have also got Sir C.V. Raman, okay, for the physics, and Mother Teresa for the peace, and Amartya Sen, Kailash Satyarthi also. Okay, so these are all the Indian Nobel Prize winners. Okay, we'll move to the next article, that is the US annexation of Greenland. Okay, what's this news? That means this articles discussed renewed US interest or claim over Greenland. Okay, actually Greenland is a Danish autonomous territory. Okay, so the strategical fallout, this could have been for NATO cohesion, Russia and Arctic session. So everybody is interested to annex this Greenland. Okay, but there should be why they wanted to annex, because there is an important that Greenland locations makes an importance for their missile defense, okay, surveillance and control of Arctic sea lanes. Okay, let's discuss that why US, Russia and China wanted Greenland. Okay, I'll discuss about Greenland in the upcoming slides. Okay, so Greenland lies between the North America and Europe, okay, making it a crucial for a military surveillance and missile early warning system and Arctic Sea routes also. So first let's discuss about this military security advantages. Okay, so why US wanted this? Because US want to strengthening their homeland defense and NATO Arctic postures. Okay, as well as the Russia that is also interested to protect its Arctic military corridors, okay, and nuclear and even their nuclear routes also. And China also wants to enlarge their routes, yes, the strategies, so that they'll become a global choke points. They wants to like have their global choke points to annex these Arctic regions, okay. Next, Arctic shipping routes and global trade. That means all this region has reducing the travel time between Asia, Europe and North America of strategic interest to all the three powers. Okay. So this Greenland also have the resources. So this Greenland also has rich in resources. So what is the critical minerals, and we'll discuss. Greenland has a reserve of rare earth elements, okay, oil, gas, minerals, okay, and defense, clean energy and high tech industries. Next, they also wanted to control or influence this Greenland, which helps to shape the Arctic governance, and they also want to secure their long-term geopolitical dominance in this climate changing region. Next, we'll see that what is Greenland. As I discussed, we'll see that it is the world's largest non-continent island. Okay, so what is the world's largest continent island, which is Australia? Okay, so this continent is of North America, located between the North America and Europe in the North Atlantic region. So it is also geographically important, which is also geographically considered a part of North American continent. So once it is also called as a Danish colony, and now it is autonomous province of Denmark. So now let's discuss about the border of the Greenland. So it is surrounded by the Arctic region. Okay, in the north. Okay, here. So this map might be not having. Okay. And in the southeast, it has a Greenland. Okay, so let's discuss about the Greenland. Okay, so Greenland is the world's largest non-continental island, located between the North America and Europe in the North Atlantic Ocean. So it is geographically considered a part of the North American continent. So once it was also a Danish continent, and now it is a province of Denmark. So let's discuss about the border of the Greenland. Okay, so Greenland's capital is Nuuk. In the north, it has a Arctic Ocean of Denmark, of the Greenland. In east, it has a Greenland Sea. Okay, and in the southeast, it has a North Atlantic Ocean. And in the southwest, it has a Davis Strait. Okay, and in west, it has the Baffin Bays. I'll give you one more hint about the Davis Strait, which connects the Baffin Bay, and in the down it connects the Labrador Sea. Okay, next one. When we are talking about this Greenland and NATO, let's discuss about this NATO and Greenland annexation. So what is the issue of this? So when they want to annex the Greenland, okay, it would violate the NATO's core principle. See, respect of sovereignty. So that is the one of the major factor. And second one, alliance cohesion at risk. So when they wanted to annex this Greenland, they are even could fracture trust within NATO. And the third point, when they wanted to annex that, Article 5 complications. Let's see, that means they could have created a ambiguity over the collective defense obligations. Okay, and Arctic militarization, which means it is also create a NATO-Russia tension in the Arctic region. Credibility of rule-based orders. It means it is also undermine the NATO's moral position in opposing territorial aggression. Okay. So when we are discussing about the NATO, we will also know about what is NATO and what is about this organization. Okay, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO is a political and military alliance of 32 countries from Europe and North America. Okay, it is also founding, it is also a founding principle. So I'll tell you what is the principle. That is Article 5 of the treaty. What is that? So if one NATO ally is attacked, that means that all NATO allies are attacked. Okay, which is the core principle of this. Okay, so article, it has been invoked, that means it has been broken once. Okay, when 9/11 attack was happened. So who are all the founding members of this NATO? That is Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, UK and US. Recently Finland has joined in 2023 and Sweden has joined in 2024. Okay. Even some European Union countries also not there in this NATO. There are one is Malta, Austria, Cyprus and Ireland. Okay, discuss the next article, that is Tamil Nadu governor refuses to read customary address in assembly. So what is the issue? That means the state, the Tamil Nadu governor refuses to read the customary address which has been prepared by the elected state government. Okay, instead of addressing that, he leave the assembly without delivering it. Okay, and what is the reason behind it? We'll discuss. First, we'll discuss about the background of this. First, article number 87 and article number 170, that is president and governor, which gives the power to address the sitting of the legislature. So we'll discuss about the governor part, which is article number 176. Okay, at the commencement of the first session after each general elections to the legislature assembly, at the commencement of the first session of each year, so the governor shall address the legislative assembly, okay, of the causes of its summons. That means the special powers, they have given the special powers on the two occasions. That is, first when the opening session, okay, first when the opening session, so they have given a special powers on two occasions. First is, they need to address the opening session of after the general election. Second, okay, each year they have to address after first sitting of the each year. Okay, so it is if they asked, is it a requirement? Yes, it is a constitutional requirement. That means they cannot begin without fulfilling this requirement. Okay, in the case of states having a legislative council, both houses assembled together. So let's see that, is there any other countries has these kind of practices? Yes. In US, it has called as State of Union. Okay. And in UK, it is also called as a Queen's Speech. And in India, that is President Address in India, it is mirrored on the British system as we taken from that. So, this address, what does this address contain? What it has? Only two things, that is, it contains legislative and policy proposal, okay, that the government intend to initiate, first thing. Second thing, it is also showing the government's accomplishment in the previous years. So, this has contained in this address, in this speech, in the governor's or president's speech. Okay. Let's see, is the address prepared by the president or governor themselves? So, no. So, according to the article number 74 and article number 163, the president and governor act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, as we all know. So, therefore, these speeches that the president and governors reads before the legislatures is a viewpoint of the government, okay, which is prepared by them. So, is governor and president, is the governor or a president disagree with this text? Can they able to, like, still can they disagree with the text of the speech? Is that they have that power? Yes, discretionary power. I'll tell you, president or a governor cannot refuse to perform the constitutional duty while delivering the address, but they can deviate from the text of the speech. Okay, so there is, till now there is no instances as president is doing so, but it has been a multiple occasion that governor has skipped a portion of the address. Okay. Let's see. So, avoiding these kind of things, that is in the, so does this omission, so such a omission, is it violating a constitutional convention? Let's see, it is debatable. Okay. So, it has not been decided yet. Let's see, in Shamsher Singh versus State of Punjab, the Supreme Court said that the the president or a governor is guided by the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, which covered every functions, that is, whether it is related to address the House or returning a bill for reconsideration or ascending or withholding the assent. Okay. So, it means the intention of the constitutional makers to governor's speech would be prepared by the Council of Ministers, okay, so that governor can read it. But if governor is violating this convention, it is not be unlawful, okay, because they due to his discretionary power, as I said, the article 163. Okay. So, this action may not be unlawful from the rigid legislative viewpoint. Okay. I have taken a 2019 one PYQ. I want all of you to solve this PYQ and put it in the comment section. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about this faster warming, faster breeding, climate change, upends Antarctic penguins. So, this is the environmental issue. Okay, what is the issue behind it? That is climate change. Okay, climate change, which is altering the breeding patterns and survival prospects of Antarctic penguins. So, what is the problem of this? We'll see. So, the core problem is that the penguins are breeding earlier, okay, than usual. So, they are breeding faster. So, is it a problem due to, because their Antarctic region has a rising temperature due to that, but is it an issue? Yes. This shift is faster than the ecosystem can adapt. Okay. So, now what is this concern? Because of this shift, their food, that means their mismatch in food availability. So penguins rely on krill and plankton bloom. So earlier breeding may not be coincide with the peak food availability. So is it for the all penguins? No, it's a specific species impact. Some species like gentoo penguins adapt better. So they are adapting a better and expanding also, but other species like Adley and Chimstram penguins are declining. So due to this poor adaptation, and it is also a ecosystem disruption, which is that is changing in penguin population, also instability in the Antarctic marine food web. So next one is indicators of climate stress. So penguins are actually a sentinel species. That means they are a signal. Okay, they are a signal species which is given. They are signal species, which means a climate. If there is any impact in the climate in the polar region, so it will give us signals. But now it is the issue of declining. And what is the environmental issue? So the environmental issue is these climate change affects biodiversity, okay, not only through extinction but also through their life cycles. Everything is changing, okay. So this is also vulnerability of polar ecosystem which are warming faster than the global average, okay. So we have covered the today's DNA, okay. So thank you for the today's DNA. Keep watching.